world you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty.
𝐤𝐤 was impatiently pacing back and forth in front of the VIP emergency room, peeking through the door's circular glass, fingers sliding in his hair. In 15 minutes, he drove you to this hospital, breaking each signal without caring anything. He just wanted you to be safe. He got distracted when his phone buzzed as he answered. As soon as he saw the doctor leave the room, he hung up the phone out of concern and impatience. He hurried in his direction without wasting a single second.
So I'll go back, go back. Oh, what I got me to forget the time I lost, the moonshine. So I'll hold back, and you should know that was never gone, just like regrets. So I'll go back. Oh, what I got me to forget the time I lost,
He accepted with a nod, and the doctor patted his shoulder before departing him. He entered the room before closing the door behind him. 2 nurses were in the room checking the medications and all. They finished their work and left as soon as they saw him. He approached you carefully while you were still sleeping, lying on bed. He gradually removes the strands of hair that were obstructing his vision before caressing your cheeks.
I can't believe.
He sat on the chair beside you, holding your hand in his, with a tear in his eyes. Slowly, he lowered his head and fell off to sleep with his misty eyes before kissing your forehead. Next morning, you slowly open your eyes, your eyeballs shift side to side. looked at the other side as he came towards you. You could have felt his eyes on you while he took out the food before arranging it on a small table on bed which he placed in front of you. He placed a spoonful of soup near your mouth while you clutched his wrist, protesting that you would eat yourself. But, being the strongest, he eventually wrenched himself from your clutch with his other hand slowly. You just sighed slowly and agreed. He continued to feed you until you had eaten the entire bowl, blowing and waiting for you to complete the previous sip. That was a pretty unpleasant situation for you both. Nobody talked about last night's encounter, didn't say anything to each other, but your eyes conversed about everything. You were both looking deeply into each other's eyes. It appears that you were both interrogating each other. He had you ingest the medicine after you finished your lunch. He paused for a few seconds, knowing what you were talking about. He spoke again, without any emotion, although he was hiding so many inside him. Time skipped in the evening. You wore your dress, waiting for him, standing in front of your VIP room's window. When you heard a few steps rush in, your brows twitched, and you turned to see who it was. She stormed in, and 𝐤𝐤 was going to stop her. Your pupils dilate somewhat, when reality hits you and this familiar figure enters your mind. It serves to remind you of the first time when you saw her. It happened so fast that you didn't know what to say or how to react to the circumstances. 𝐤𝐤 stood a little further away from the entrance, hands crossed over his chest. Mira's word had no effect on him. His gaze was fixed solely on you, while you continued to stare at him. She approached you and offered you the flowers she was holding, which you accepted, still perplexed. She said this while shrugging her shoulders and rolling her eyes because of the situation. You were battling in your mind with your thoughts and trying to be kind, but it didn't help. You focused your attention on her statement, attempting to make sense of it. She huffed at your face. She returned her gaze and glared at 𝐤𝐤, while he simply looked away with a bored face as she returned her gaze to you, while you continued to mumble her words. You were amazed because 𝐤𝐤 seems like he doesn't even care, but the 𝐤𝐤 you know might kill the person with his deadly glares if someone else could have said this to him. You scoffed before saying this to her, and 𝐤𝐤's brow twitched as he realized what you were saying. Sometimes I lose my mind, and some days it's hard to find the reason why you stay by my side. You crossed your hands across your chest, trying to pay closer attention. You gave him a funny smile before turning to face her. He answered answered quickly, not wanting you to make any incorrect assumptions. As you chuckled at his response, you had the impression he was attempting to conceal this.
It's you and I.
Within a second, she went and pulled him towards you by holding his wrist as he just followed her with a straight yet annoying look. Your blood started boiling this time. You could feel anger more than hurt. The moment they came to inform you, the woman who was hiding in you just popped up. With a tight smile on your lips, you slowly held his wrist and pulled him beside you after releasing her hold over him. You never envisioned yourself saying or doing this. Your rage and jealousy drove you to do this. His gaze was locked on you, but he didn't say anything. She chuckled awkwardly as she realized what was going on. She said while placing a tight smile on her face and waving her hand at you before leaving the room. In the next second, you cursed yourself for doing this to her. You were not like this, but because of your anger, you ended up hurting someone. Your thoughts get disturbed when he came back after completing all the paperwork to find no one in this room. There was a nurse who was rearranging the medicines and he was about to call you, but stopped when the nurse approached him. He took that note from her and opened it desperately. As soon as he finished reading, his throat tightened and he gulped a lump of tear while clenching his jaw and faced in anger. A mix of emotion were rushing inside him. His anger and patience level are already went above his limit. His eyes were getting red, still filled with tears. Sadness and loneliness filled his heart. Within a second, you left him. You mentioned that you are directly going to your mother's house, and it broke him down when you mentioned not to contacting you anymore. Still, he dialed your mom's number to make sure whether you reached home safely or not. He wiped his tears before putting that note in his pocket. He took a deep breath before dialing a number. After a few seconds, that person received the call. He hung up the phone slowly, expelling the breath that was still caught in his throat. Trying to calm himself down, it was not working.